How's it going, everybody? So, my church just got new cymbals for our drum set, so I figured it would be a great opportunity to do an unboxing video and then also a playthrough test of what our new Heartbeat cymbals, how they come shipped, what they look like, and what they sound like. So, like I already said, and I'm sure you already saw in the video, these are Heartbeat cymbals. We decided to go with very big cymbals, thin, washy, dark. That's kind of just the sound that we wanted to go with. It's a sound that's, you know, very popular in current worship music. And so, yeah, I guess we'll just hop right in. Okay. First off, free t-shirt. Gotta love it. So when I was getting these cymbals, I don't know if it's still active or not, but there was a promo code. It's HBTEE, so HBT, where you can get a free t-shirt if you spend, I believe it's $945, which if you're buying cymbals, depending on the size, it's, you know, not very difficult to spend $945. So that's a promo code that might be out there still. So first up, got two 17-inch crashes. These are actually going to be our hi-hats, and like I was saying, we got very big cymbals, so the 17-inch hi-hats are actually going to be our smallest cymbals that we have. So, you know, I don't know exactly for sure, but I'm guessing, or what I planned on doing was this 17-inch Epic is going to be the bottom hi-hat, and then this 17-inch Jazz crash right here, that is going to be the top of the hi-hat. I'm always a fan of really big hi-hats, and then I also like the sound of two crashes as the hi-hat. So normally with a hi-hat, if the cymbals come specifically as hi-hats, the bottom cymbal is, you know, it's heavier, it's thicker, and then the top is generally then thinner. But now with these 17-inch crashes, we'll kind of have like the same size. I guess I don't know 100% if they're the exact same size, but about the same size for the hi-hats. But then also with the bigger hi-hats, you kind of get that lower pitch and kind of that, you know, warmer sound whenever you're actually playing. Then we've got some more really big cymbals. So this right here is a 22-inch crash. It's a jazz crash. Then another crash is this 24-inch ride, which it's a ride, but we're going to use it both. You know, I mean, it could be used as a ride, but it's going to kind of be set up more so for like a crash. This is the 24-inch jazz ride. And then our biggest cymbal is going to be this 26-inch jazz ride right there. Like I was saying, really big cymbals, thin cymbals. I mean, you can kind of see already how bendy that is. But yeah, I mean, in terms of coming package, it's all really pretty standard. They came in their own little sleeves, surrounded in bubble wrap. But I suppose let's get into the play test. Yeah. All right, and here's what we got rocking. So we got the 26-inch ride here. We got the 24-inch ride, the 22-inch crash, and then I decided to go with the Epic on the bottom and the Jazz crashes on top, but these are the 17-inch crashes right here. Yeah. So it's been a little bit since I recorded the first part of this video. So I've gotten a chance to play these cymbals in some services, and I've kind of got my thoughts on these cymbals, but I'll save those for after. So first, let's do the play test. So, yeah. Alrighty, so my thoughts on these cymbals. I really like them. I think they sound amazing. They've got this beautiful, rich sound to them. They're dark, they're kind of dry, they're washy. They sound really, really good. I really enjoy playing them. You know, most of these cymbals are part of the Heartbeat jazz line, and so there's a lot of similarities between the different cymbals, but there kind of are some differences or some different thoughts that I have on the different sizes and types of cymbals. So I'll kind of just go through each one individually, starting with this 26-inch ride. So when I was looking for cymbals, I saw this 26-inch ride, which I was like, that's huge, that's awesome. One thought that I had kind of had before buying these cymbals and whatnot was, you know, is this going to sound too gongy with it being so big? Now, it is a large cymbal. It's 26 inches, and so it sounds like a large cymbal, but in my opinion, it doesn't sound too gongy. With these jazz cymbals, kind of like I was saying a little bit ago, there's kind of this rich, beautiful sound to them. And there's kind of just a lot going on in the sound. You know, I was trying to think of like a comparison or analogy to kind of like, you know, explain the sound themselves. But like, you know, when you're playing a piano and you can play just one key, you can play just one single note. Or you can play a chord, which it's got, you know, the central note in it, but it's kind of got all these other notes as well that's kind of creating this sound that's kind of just a lot fuller. That's kind of, you know, what I thought of with these jazz cymbals is there's kind of a lot going on, and so it's like this, I don't know, I keep coming back to it, but it's kind of just this like rich, beautiful sound. In terms of the tone, it's kind of like a darker tone. There's kind of just this wash that's there. You know, overall, I think the sound they sound really, really good. When it comes to the 24-inch ride, which is this same cymbal, but instead of 26 inches, it's 24 inches. My thought with that was, you know, I wonder if it's going to sound different enough, or if it's going to sound, you know, too much like the same cymbal. The sound itself is very, very similar. The biggest thing is just with it being 24 inches, it's a little bit higher pitched. Kind of the thought that I was having with, you know, is it going to sound different enough, is the thought that if I'm playing this 26-inch ride and then I go and I crash on that 24-inch ride, is it going to sound different enough, or is it going to sound like I'm just playing the same cymbal? And I do think it does sound different enough that you know, it doesn't sound like I'm just playing the exact same cymbal. Like I was saying, it's kind of a little bit higher pitched, and so it's a little bit brighter. I wouldn't classify it as a bright cymbal, but it is a little bit brighter than the 26-inch, just I think merely because, you know, it's smaller. Then coming over to the 22-inch crash, you know, that's also a jazz cymbal, so it's got a lot of the kind of that same rich, beautiful sound that I've been talking about in it. But since it's a crash, it does kind of open up into that crash a lot quicker than the 26-inch and the 24-inch rides do. If I'm playing the kit and I want a crash sound, that 22-inch crash is kind of like what I'm keeping in mind. I do like kind of combining the 22-inch crash over here with whether it be the 26-inch ride or the 24-inch ride, whether it is just crashing or whether it's a swell or whether it's a cymbal pass or something like that. I do kind of like layering those sounds on top of each other because it does add another element. You know, with this being a 22-inch crash, you know, it's smaller, and then it's also a crash compared to the 24 and the 26-inch ride. It kind of just layers some different sounds on top of each other, and I really like the sound of that. And then hopping over here to the 17-inch hi-hats, with the hi-hats being bigger, so 17 inches. And then also, you know, it's the epic crash and then the jazz crash on top. They're kind of a drier sounding hi-hat pair. And so something to keep in mind with that, I have noticed that I think it's I think it's kind of a combination of the fact that they're bigger hi-hats, they're 17 inches, and then also they're just drier sounding, but they don't cut through the mix as much as like smaller, brighter hi-hats do. So that's just something to keep in mind, but I really do like the warmer, dry sound that these hi-hats, provide. Overall, I'm super pleased with all of these cymbals. Like I was saying, for the most part, these are the Jazz line Heartbeat cymbals. They've just got this, I keep saying it over and over again, but this beautiful, rich sound to them. They've got this wash to them, and they're kind of a bit drier. They're warmer. They're dark. I don't know, they just sound really good. So if it's something that you're thinking about getting, I would definitely recommend these cymbals. I think overall the sound is just, I don't know, they just sound really beautiful. Well, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Feel free to like this video if it's been helpful to you, as well as feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are, and then also feel free to subscribe. Peace.